Hello, my freaky darlings. Welcome back. This week, I'm heading to Coolderry in Ireland and exploring one of the most haunted castles in Ireland, namely Leap Castle, which is said to be one of the longest continually inhabited castles in Ireland. Some reports say it was built around 1250. Other reports say it was possibly built in the 15th century by the O'Bannon clan. The original name being something like Leap of the O'Bannons. One of the many legends surrounding this castle is that the name came about because the two O'Bannon brothers leapt from a rocky outcrop where the castle was to be built. The survivor would get to rule the clan and build the castle. Now, I'm not sure if either of them survived, or if one did, who got to rule the clan. Anyway, Leap Castle may even date back further than this, as there is evidence to suggest that there was another ancient stone structure prior, and that the area has been occupied since the Iron Age, or even earlier. It is also said to have been used by the Druids. The O'Bannons were a wealthy clan and secondary chieftains to the ruling O'Carroll clan, who had a long and bloody history. In 1513, there was a recorded attempt by the Earl of Kildare, Gerald Fitzgerald, to seize Leap Castle, but failed. But his attempt 3 years later was more successful and partially demolished the castle in the process. By 1557, the O'Carrolls regained possession of it and ruled Leap Castle, using it as their principal stronghold. What happened to the O'Bannons in that period? I have no clue. Now, by the time they took possession of the castle, there were already problems within the clan. When Mulrooney O'Carroll, the clan chieftain, passed away in 1532, his two sons started a bitter battle for power. One of the brothers was a priest, and while he was holding mass for a group of his family in the castle in what is now called the Bloody Chapel, his rival brother burst into the chapel and plunged his sword into him. The butchered priest fell across the altar and died in front of his family. Ruth's brother eventually got his due and was later killed by his cousin Charles O'Carroll. In 1659, the castle passed by marriage into ownership of the Darby family. Notable members of the Darby family include Vice Admiral George Darby, Admiral Sir Henry Destair Darby, and John Nelson Darby. During the tenure of one Jonathan Charles Darby, seances were held in the castle by his wife, Mildred Darby, who was a Gothic novelist, and this led to the publicity around the castle and its ghosts. The central keep was later expanded with significant extensions, but in order to pay for these, rents were raised and much of the land occupying the castle was sold. This is apparently what pissed off the IRA during the Irish Civil War in 1922, and why they burned the castle down. It's also believed that it wasn't just because of the raised rents, but also because the Darbys were English, that they became the targets of the IRA. Now, you can't really blame the Darbys for abandoning Leap. Leap Castle fell into complete ruin and remained empty until the 70s, when a descendant of the original O'Bannons, Peter Bartlett, purchased it. He and builder Joe Sullivan carried out extensive restoration work on the castle up until the time of his death in 1989. Since 1991, the castle has been privately owned by musician Sean Ryan and his wife, Anne, who continue the restoration work. But now, given the history, it's no surprise that the castle is, well, fucking haunted. No surprise that the murdered O'Carroll priest also makes an appearance in the priest's house. But he's not the only one. Apparently, the O'Carrolls pulled a bit of a red wedding a la Game of Thrones sort of party and invited the McMahon family over for a celebratory feast after defeating a rival clan together. But then the O'Carrolls decided to poison their guests during the party. And they pulled the same shit on the O'Neill clan. Yeah, so duplicitous bastards. So no wonder a whole bunch of their murdered guests are now roaming around the grounds and causing shit. In the 1920s, an oubliette hidden behind a wall in the Bloody Chapel was discovered during renovations. Skeletons impaled on spikes were found lying at the base of the oubliette. Yeah. Apparently enough human remains were brought out to fill 3 carts. However, it was also said that a pocket watch from the mid-1800s was also found there. So it may not just have been the O'Carrolls using that oubliette. There is also a story of 2 little girls, Emily and Charlotte, who play in the main hall. They apparently lived in the castle in the 1600s. Emily died when she was only 11 after falling from the castle battlements. Today, there are still sightings of a little girl falling from its heights, only to disappear before reaching the ground. Charlotte is seen dragging a deformed leg in tow. Now, I don't know how she died, just that she's haunting the place. Another story is that of the Red Lady. Apparently she roams the castle in a long red dress. She's tall and lean with long, flowing brown locks. She always carries a dagger in her raised hand. According to the story, one of the O'Carroll clan captured her. He then raped her and impregnated her. On delivering the baby, the O'Carrolls killed the kid with a blade. In absolute despair, the woman grabbed the knife and killed herself. But I'm not entirely sure why they would hold her captive long enough for her to give birth and then kill the baby. I mean, surely if they held her captive long enough to give birth, they would want to keep the kid, right? So that kind of makes no sense. Anyway, another account says that the 2 O'Carroll family members were fighting over her. And when she tried to flee, they chased after her and stabbed her to death. That makes a little more sense than the whole kid story. But anyway, now, one of the most famous ghosts of Leap Castle is the Elemental. It apparently has a decomposing face and comes with an equally rotten smell. Nobody seems to know where it comes from, but stories have been told around it for centuries. Maybe the Druids summoned it to protect the land. Maybe the Earl of Kildare, who was rumoured to be sort of a magician or wizard, placed it there to help them take the castle from the inside. Perhaps it's the spirit of another O'Carroll. Or could Mildred Derby have summoned it during one of her rituals? There are so many stories surrounding the elemental. Who or what do you think it is? Anyway, that's it for this week. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with people who are also fascinated by weird shit like haunted places, mythical creatures, ghosts, urban legends, things that go bump in the night. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and if you do visit Leap Castle, maybe ask the elemental what the fuck it is, and let me know if it tells you. Pretty please. Inquiring minds would like to know. Anyway, bye.